Mm-mm-mm. What's going on, everybody? Happy New Year, I guess. As you guys know or have seen in the news, tragedy has struck New Orleans. They're calling it a terrorist attack. Uh, let's kind of see what they got going on in the latest. Here we go. This one's from. Let's reload this. All right, this one's from an hour ago. What they know about the victim. Let's check this out. All right, we gotta watch the ads, I guess. Anyway, as you guys know, I've lived in New Orleans for over a decade. I actually just moved out of there, and I'm familiar with the area that this happened. So here we go. Hold on one moment.
Slowly, we are
Sorry
learning more
about
and more
that.
details.
Let's try that again.
Died and dozens of 15 people have died and dozens others have been taken to area hospitals. Slowly, we are learning more and more details, tragically, about these victims.
We did just learn new information about one of the victims. WDSU just confirmed that a woman, 28-year-old Nicole Perez, works as the manager at a store on Bourbon Street. She's died as a result of the terrorist attack. She leaves behind a young son. Family members identified another of the victims as a Mississippi teen, Nakaira Dido. Her friend was with her and said that Nakaira was struck by a car.
And we know that a man from Lafayette is among those deceased. His name is Tiger Besh. He's 28 years old. He's a former football player at Princeton University. He has a brother and uncles who have played at LSU. The name Besh with LSU football is very synonymous.
All right, so there you go. I thought it was going to be more info about the the perpetrator, but it was about the victim. So thoughts and prayers to all the victims to that. So let's just read the story. This is from an hour ago. A driver plowed. Sorry, they loaded that. A driver plowed a pickup truck into a crowd early Wednesday morning on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, killing at least 15 and injuring at least 30 others. The FBI is investigating the attack as an act of terrorism. So here's the thing about that. All day I've been seeing like the mayor first said it was an act of terrorism. Then the FBI person was like, it's not an act of terrorism. But I guess now they decided that it was an act of terrorism. So try to wrap your head around that one. The attack was reported at about 3:15 a.m. toward the end of New Year's celebrations. The suspect, identified as 42-year-old Shamsha Din Jabbar, was killed by police after opening fire on responding officers. All right, so that's been pretty much it. There've been a lot of videos and stuff out, so I still follow a lot of like the local people and stuff from New Orleans, so I did save some of the stuff here. More saved. Here we go. So this is definitely not safe for work stuff here. All right. So I just want to point out some of the incompetence that I've been pointing out for years from the city of New Orleans. So here we go. Here's some here. We want sound. Here we go.
This particular terrorist drove around onto the sidewalk and got around the hard target where he did have a car there. We had barriers there, we had officers there, and they still got around. Now, the wedges that you see out there as well, we knew that that had malfunction problems. And I want you to understand, let's say we put the wedge up and it got stuck. There is no way that ambulance could get in or out, people couldn't get in and out, so we knew that these were malfunction. So we did indeed have a plan, but the terrorist defeated it.
All right, so they had a plan, but the terrorists defeated it. So I've been on Bourbon Street. I've seen these barriers that they put up in place. It's literally a piece of plastic with one one leg, and it like goes down. They don't even have them set up on like two legs like you would normally see. And yeah, if it's stuck in at least any sort of place, it's better than no barrier at all. There are other ways for ambulances and such to get onto Bourbon Street very easily. And anytime I've been on Bourbon Street, I like to think that those barricades were always up, but I always entered off a side street. Let's go back. Nope, that's not what I wanted to go back to. Let's see. Sorry, I save a lot of crazy stuff here. All right, so they did start going after the suspect's place of residence. So they raided his spot. Here's some drone footage. There's a guy that's outside of the house. But that's about it at the house. There's no other information from that scene. Here's some video of the truck going through. I don't think there's anything too graphic on this one. Maybe there was. Anyway, I'm glad that the cops got to that guy quickly. So here they go. The guy just crashed, and then he comes out and he starts opening fire when the police ran up here. So that's not cool. That is not cool. So, thoughts and prayers to everybody out there. New Orleans, here we go. Here's another one. You see all these people just managed to get out of the way. This girl right here, she doesn't know how close she was. This guy was just chilling like nothing happened. Oh. Man. So this is how I guess that the FBI was finally convinced that this was a terrorist attack. So this was definitely hanging on the back of the truck. They're saying it's a ISIS flag. I don't read that language, all those squiggly letters and stuff, so I don't know what that says personally. It's people just rendering aid, like I said. This is from a balcony from up top. So said at least 10 people, but it's up to 15 now. Sorry, it's kind of hard to look at, but this is what's going on. So this hits home to me. So here we go.
Barriers from past events. Last Mardi Gras, this happened to an extent, maybe not terrorism, but still people getting hit in mass population with vehicles. Those barricades were not up, period. They had the flimsy orange ones that you could just push over with your finger. We actually thought it was kind of odd because usually when you get to Bourbon Street, you can turn your back to Canal and not worry about anything. You can just walk the street, especially on New Year's, and there were still vehicles coming after 8 p.m. And then, the fact that they never raised them. That's how this guy was able to get down Bourbon Street so quickly and cause so much damage. We have these hydraulic steel barriers from past events.
Anyway. Exactly. So he's talking about those orange barricades. They're just pieces of plastic. They usually set them up during Mardi Gras and to like close off streets and stuff, but it's literally not a barrier. You guys give me 1 second. The baby's fussy. Thank you for holding on. So, anyway, it's really crazy. There are a bunch of people still in the hospital. I mean, it's kind of upsetting because for the last 4 years, all I saw on the news was stuff about how domestic terrorism was on the rise and right-wing terrorism was on the rise. Meanwhile, I see left-wing extremism, happening all around me. They call them mostly peaceful protests, while in the background, buildings are on fire, cars are on fire. So all the focus is on this. Meanwhile, you have an open border. I'm not saying that has anything to do with the situation, but you have tons of people coming in, lots of people who aren't checked through the border patrol, and then the focus is on all this domestic quote unquote and right-wing quote unquote stuff, and then you have Islamic terrorist attacks happening in my home city of New Orleans. It's just crazy. Nuts. Anyway, and then they're saying that this guy also had an IED in the truck. They're saying that they found 2 more IEDs. They had the the bomb squad out there detonating these IEDs. And then there is allegedly an Airbnb in my old neighborhood, St. Rock, which CNN was incorrectly calling the La Rock neighborhood. It's the St. Rock neighborhood. And so they raided that spot, and I think they said that they found bomb-making material stuff there. So there you go. According to them, I really haven't seen any updates, but they did find 2 more IEDs, and supposedly there were some people, a couple men and a woman that they thought were sending them around. So they think that this guy may have had accomplices, last I heard anyway. So it's just nuts. And then at the same time, not exactly the same time, but that Tesla Cybertruck explodes in front of the Trump Tower in Las Vegas. So also, what's up with that? So it's a rough start to the year, to say the least. I don't know. The leadership in the city is not there. The governor is focused on the tourism money. He's mostly concerned about the Sugar Bowl or whatever the fuck that they have going on that was supposed to be tonight. They're postponing it to tomorrow night. So, we'll see how that goes. I don't think they should do it. You want this? No. So I don't know. Every time there's something that happens, they have like the Louisiana Bowl or whatever. There's always a shooting that happens on Canal or on Bourbon Street that they are surprised happened, even though it happens every year. It's just, there's just no leadership there. They have Happy Gilmore's grandma as the police chief. Just look at her history. Just look at the last two places where she was the police chief from. It's ridiculous. Oh yeah, she knows how to police during a consent decree. That's not a good thing. She already was working under a consent decree. That's not a good reflection of your leadership of your police force. You know what I mean? The mayor is corrupt. I mean, I've been calling this out for a while. I've been calling out the police force. Just look at my old videos. I mean, multiple failures here. Multiple. It's sad. And this has happened before too, with the trucks running into the groups of people. It happens during Mardi Gras. During last Mardi Gras, NOPD officer, it might have been a sheriff's deputy, had to shoot a driver because they were coming over, jumping the curb and driving at him. So he stopped a potential attack. You know what I mean? It happens. It happens. You know what I mean? And it is sad. It's also sad that this guy had a alleged ISIS flag on the back of his truck. This guy was having some issues for sure. Apparently he was born and raised here in Texas. He was in the army. He was in the military. He was honorably discharged. Then he was in the Army Reserves. And then he gets radicalized by some crazy ISIS shit, man. That is nuts. That's crazy. Let me see if they got anything going on X. Anything new? I know, buddy. Got my co-host here today. He was made in New Orleans. Somebody. I know. Nothing new. Here we go. Let's pull this up. Can I make this bigger? Hold on. I know. We're gonna go to bed soon. Alright, here we go. It says the media wasn't allowed to tell you this. The jihadist flag waved from the truck a terrorist used to kill 15 Americans until an hour or so ago. But if you were on X, you knew this 12 hours ago. Exactly. Yeah, like I knew this a long time ago. There's the picture. This thing down here was on like the truck hitch where you hitch a trailer hitch, I guess. And I guess he wasn't windy enough, so he wasn't really waving. Let's see. It looks like they got the National Guard out there right now. So it looks like it's all hands on deck out there. I know. It's upsetting. We got all hands on deck out there in New Orleans, so hopefully they get to the bottom of this soon, and the regular incompetence that prevails out there, doesn't happen. Anyway, y'all, it's time to get this little homie fed. All my New Orleans people, thoughts and prayers are with you, and God, if there is never a better lesson, please stay well regulated. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.